Welcome to the Unbreakable podcast. I'm Dr. Trevor Bachmeyer. Most people call me the Spartan, and there's a whole lot of reasons why. The biggest one is my son. It's June 7th, 2025, and almost 4 years ago, my life was turned upside down. But I started thinking about it today. I didn't even know what to come out here and talk about until I started walking out to the studio. We built this big studio. It's a separate building outside of our house. And I think a lot of you have built your life around shoulds. I know because I've done it. I should eat better. I should put more time into my business. I should spend more time prospecting, generating leads, in my DMs, creating content, building my fitness, taking care of my health, teaching my children things. I taught our son and our daughter how to build a fire from scratch. And I mean, from scratch, on our farm, go get tinder and fluff and all kinds of things, and then taught them exactly how to do it. It was cold outside when we did it. Their fingers were cold. They were freezing. It was windy. It's exactly how I wanted it, which is exactly how my dad taught me. And then I taught them how to do it with a ferro rod, no match, no fuel, no nothing. A lot of people, when I talked about that, said, why though? What's the point? Bro, use a lighter. We have this thing called a lighter. That's what I heard from some people when I posted it. They're never going to use that skill. What a waste of time. But my kids can shoot guns accurately. Bow and arrow, crossbow. They know how to fillet a fish. They know how to do things in life. They know how to not give up. And there's a lot of men and women out there thinking of all your list of shoulds is a mile long. You should spend more time with your wife. You should spend more time dating, courting, asking your wife what you did great today, what you could have done better. And you know what? I should post more content, make more calls, close more sales, have bigger ambitions, stop giving up, work out every day. I could do this all day long. There's a list of shoulds that are so long in your life, and that's how you guys have built your life. And the moment it gets inconvenient or nowadays unglamorous or uncomfortable, you collapse and you ghost everything, every bit of your potential. Just like it was a Tinder date, you knew you were just going to disappoint. And then you sit there smug in your mediocrity, justifying why this week wasn't the week, why I can't follow through with my promise this week. I'll do it next week. I can't follow through with my word. It comes back to that. I can't keep my word to the people I gave my word to. I should. I just haven't done it yet, but I'm going to get around to it. Time. But you justify why this just wasn't your week, then why you have one more thing to handle. And then you should your pants. You wonder why your life stinks, so you change your shirt. That's the logic you have. Should is the language of people that are addicted to and in love with their excuses, their validations, their explanations. You guys explain away and their procrastination more than their results and their outcomes. Should is very soft. It's insecure. It's a big, giant participation trophy wrapped in being a victim. It's not my fault. Pity party. And I've said this a lot. You want to change your life, you have to change your standards. And I have a friend of mine, he's incredibly wealthy, a couple $100 million. But he lies all the time. And I think about that. It really bothers me because he procrastinates and explains away and makes excuses and validates when all it takes is a phone call or execution, but it's a should. I have a really hard time with that because I would never tolerate that from myself, my wife, my kids, just like they wouldn't tolerate it from me. Because the truth is you don't get what you should. You don't have a life as a result of what you should do. You get what you must do. I said this to a patient one time, almost 20 years ago. I'll never forget. I was renting space in an office, one room. I rented a table and I paid a flat monthly fee until the doctor, this was funny to me. I was there 1 month. And in that first month, I made 10 times more than this doctor. And the second month, his wife said, you need to start charging him a percentage. And then he came and he said, you're using my resources. You're using more of my resources when you're making more money. I said, and it was because he realized he would leave when there were no patients. I got no patient scheduled for the rest of the day, so I'm just going to. I stayed. And I did my own marketing, my own patients. But I remember saying this to a patient one time. Needless to say, I went and opened up my own clinic about a month and a half in because I said, you're a terrible person. You want part of my money that I'm working for because all of a sudden you realized I'm making significantly more than you. And that's how people are. They want something that you have when they haven't done anything to deserve it, just because they're too lazy because they know what they should do, but they're not doing it, but they feel entitled. That's the world right now. I don't want you if you think you should do it. I only want people that say must. And I respected the patient because he came in for a report of findings, him and his wife. And he said, I'm not looking at this as a must. And I said, then I can't be your doctor. And he said, I can respect that because I probably wouldn't sign up for care. And he came back to my office about 2 years later when I moved into my new place. And he said, all right, now I'm ready. I have to do it. And it took twice as long. It was less fixable and it cost twice as much money because of the time he knew that. So think about that. When you wait, when you do things that should be, or when you avoid things that should be done because they're just shoulds and not musts, when you finally are forced, the universe and God are going to force you to do all the things that you say are shoulds right now, and they will become the most indomitable task because you waited so long that the possibility of their attainment is almost non-existent, but it becomes a fraction of the results, infinitely more expensive with your time, money, and energy. And you did it to yourself. If it's not a must, look at the things you say you want. If it's not a must, you're lying about what you want. You're lying to yourself about wanting it. Because a lot of you people go around saying it's good enough. And that just fuels that cult. If you want to look at the psychology of standards and the total sabotage of current belief systems and why there's a gap between your goals and your grind, you're going to want to listen to the rest of this because you don't need another motivational meme or quote or TED talk or book that you only read the first chapter in. You need a mirror to see yourself, and then you need a flamethrower. Because every time you say should, ask yourself right now, I should. Where? Where are you saying I should? I should is a lie. It's not a plan or a commitment. It's not a command. It's this guilt-ridden lullaby that you sing to yourself at night to avoid facing the truth. You don't want it bad enough. And I've been that way. I remember doing this so many times. I know what I should do, and I would go to bed and get up the next day and wish I did it yesterday, but now it's a day further and I have less time to do it. If it was a must, it would already be done. Your shoulds are, performance art. Your musts, see, your shoulds are they're who you show on social media. Your musts, that's who you really are. You should go to the gym, but you don't. Unless it's chest day and you're a guy and your ego and your bros are watching. You should spend time with your kids teaching them how to be men and women, but somehow there's time for Netflix and HBO and Instagram, but not for the kid who just calls you dad. You should take all of the action and commitment in your business. You should invest the money, not wait until you make one or two more sales. You should go all in on it. You should carve out the time in your day and give it an entire year where you sacrifice every single thing in your life for that business until it becomes the engine that you want it to be. That's what you should do. But then the problem becomes, I know, but I said I would never change this amount in my bank account, and my energy and my chakras weren't aligned. And so you meditated yourself into another week of financial stagnation. And here's the raw truth. If you haven't turned your shoulds into musts, all of them, then you've made comfort your goal. And your religion around that is convenience, safety. Because you'd rather feel safe than alive. But here, I'll ask you straightforward. When's the last time safety paid your bills? Put another zero after that one in your bank account. When's the last time all of that comfort made you look in the mirror or have somebody look at you and go, I'm so proud of you? When's the last time that should made you a damn savage? Where's the commitment from a should? It doesn't exist. Right? Your shoulds are these neurotic guilt loops designed to make you feel like you're making progress without making progress. It's pseudo purpose. It's a word based on self-delusion. You remain trapped in the tyranny of internal conflict where the desire and the action never intersect because the unconscious commitment is to avoid suffering, not hunt it down, go through it, and evolve. But that's what's costing you. You keep saying you should. Oh, I should. I know I should, bro. I know I should invest the money. I should invest the time. I should get after it. Man, shit. Either get it done or admit you're weak. Don't lie to yourself with your soft language. I didn't get up and train connected to an oxygen machine, start a business with no idea how, with my wife and kids in tow, while I bled my savings account dry while we didn't have a home because I should. I did it because I had to. When it's a must. See, when it's a must, you find a way. When it's a should, you find every excuse under the sun. Losers say should. Winners say done. Every time you use that word, you expose who you are. Should is passive. It's soft. It's weak. I don't should anything. I can't. It actually causes me pain. I make a decision. I execute wherever that takes me, period. If your life is full of shoulds, there's no wonder you're broke and flabby and soft and angry and bitter and depressed. You got to get serious. You're not taking your life serious enough, and that's why you're getting stepped on. You must eat better. You must work out. You must become educated about what really works. You guys keep falling for every fad out there and think that's why people are lean, but I eat cookies all the time. You can make all the excuses you want about what kind of chemistry it is. It's not what it is. I understand physiology and what a caloric deficit is, and all of you people going, it's not that. It's caloric deficit doesn't work for me. Then you're not in a caloric deficit. You should learn more, but it's not a must, so you don't. So you just look for the next fad and find every doctor who wants to support your lies. It's like, guys, you should be better. You should be better. Isn't that just bless your heart? That's adorable. That's what I said the other day. So how about this? I'll grab a pencil and I'll jot down all the dreams and goals and desires and outcomes that you're never gonna chase. Because let me guess, you should also start doing that side hustle. You should eat according to how you need to eat to look the way you want to look and feel the way you want to feel, so you're responsible like a human being and take care of your damn body. You should finally fix your marriage. Listen, I'll tell you what, Sparky. When you get off your ass and you actually do even one of those things, let me know. Because until then, your shoulds, they ain't worth the air coming out of your lungs. And that's how you need to look at it, because you're not. Ask yourself, what should you do? There's a great question for you. What's one thing I keep saying I should do? And what lie am I protecting by not doing it? You've been conditioned. You know that? You've been conditioned to chase good. And you're told that at a very young age, from being elementary school, even earlier. Oh, that's a good boy. You're a good girl. Good job. You did good. Nice work, son. Nice work, daughter. Be a good person. job, be a good dad, be a good mom, be a good man. Say all the right things. Go along to get along. Do just enough to avoid rocking the boat. I rock the boat all the time. And what's your reward for being good? Rejection, being ostracized, pain, struggle, regret. No redemption. Because in today's world, good doesn't cut it. Good gets crushed. So if you go, I'm doing pretty good, I have nothing for you. Here's the delusion. Oh, I'm a good husband. Why did she leave? Because you weren't. I'm a good employee. Why'd I get fired? Because you weren't. I'm a good dad. Why won't my kids listen to me? Because you're not. You're not exceptional. That's what. I make damn sure that I'm exceptional for Brandy because that's what she deserves, but it's also what I expect from myself. Your standards are causing the problem. Good is the bare minimum. When your standards are bare minimum, your results are irrelevant. There's a scale for standards, I think. Poor, you don't care about anything. You just do everything to get by. You race through your day to get to the end of the day, to distract yourself from the day, to go to bed, to repeat the day. Every day you open your eyes, you see the same movie that you can't stand watching, but you blame everything around you for seeing that same stupid movie. That's what poor is. Most people are on a hamster wheel talking about how busy they are and how successful they are. They brag about how fit they are and how resilient they are. And they lay out a great story about it. For an entire year, they have made no money, have a crappy marriage, can't get their shit, spend their entire day worried about everything. You are poor. No matter how fit you are, you're poor because of what you're thinking and your conduct. Good? You try. But trying's lying. You show up and you're told, dude, all you got to do is show up. You think that's enough? Do you really think that just showing up is enough? Ask yourself. Do you think that if I just showed up to surgery to save somebody's life, I just walked into the operating room and I stared at everything in there, they're spurting blood, I look at the Kelly clamp sitting there and I do nothing, the vascular clamp, I look at that, doesn't matter, I do nothing about it. You know what my reward is? They die. The reward for good is disappointment. And you guys think excellence is the top. Oh no, Spartan, I'm going for excellent. You outperform a lot of people. You're above average. Good job. Nobody cares. Wayne Gretzky was not excellent. Peyton Manning was not excellent. Tom Brady, not excellent. Anyway, Denzel Washington, doesn't make a difference. Mel Gibson, it doesn't matter whether they're actors or athletes. Doesn't make a difference. None of them were excellent. They were all exceptional. They're all outstanding. Exceptional and outstanding, that's the 1% of the 1%. Be uncommon among uncommon. That means you dominate, you deliver, and you shatter everybody's expectations, and your reward is every single thing you want faster than you ever thought you could get it. But here's the cruel reality. Even excellent today is just going to get you average results because the game has changed. You're being outworked, outthought, out-AI'd, out-disciplined by people who simply decided they're never going to settle. They will just keep working no matter what. So if you say you're going to work 24 hours, they go, I'm working 20. I work 25. Cool. I'm working 30. I'm working 30. Awesome. I'm working 40. Your game is to outlast with maximum effort while you're outlasting. And people go, you got to live your life, bro. That's why you're poor. Because while you're over here doing just enough and hoping it gets noticed, somebody else is up at 3 a.m, bleeding for all of the things that you only dream about, laying in your bed at night, wishing you didn't have such a big belly. Good gets ghosted. Good is left behind, gets fired, forgotten, and it gets replaced. Whether you're in a marriage or a job, you're not being punished for being bad. You're being ignored for being mediocre, for being average. They're not the same. Listen, the pursuit of being good is often this unconscious strategy to avoid confronting your own inadequacies. And I think it's honestly rooted in shame. It's rooted in shame where compliance is traded for your identity, but life doesn't reward suppressed competence. Show me when that's ever happened. It rewards voluntary struggle. Voluntary, like your vector is to go into the flame. Voluntary transformation, voluntary discomfort, self-imposed responsibility. Good men will just get demolished under the weight of unexpressed potential. They'll get crushed, they'll decay and rot and die simply because they're not expressing all the potential that they have. Everybody wants to be good, but nobody wants to be exceptional. Why? Because good is easy. You show up, you smile. Oh, good. Look at little Tommy. Great means you're doing the work that nobody sees. Exceptional means suffering when nobody's clapping, no audience, and it's silent, it's dark, it's cold, you're uncomfortable. Exceptional means getting comfortable in the suck. If you're not willing to be hated, doubted, ostracized, ridiculed, ignored, or broken, you're not ready to be exceptional. The world is not looking for more good men. It is run by savages, killers, these tacticians that have nothing but ambition, drive, and the means to back it up. Good is how losers justify being outperformed. Wake up. Seriously, wake up. Nobody respects good. The only person that respects good is the person doing good, demanding respect from other people that are going, I don't respect good. They respect undeniable. You know what people follow? Power. So the question you should ask is, do you want to be good or do you want to own the fucking game? Whenever you see a medal or an award, I'm not talking about current state of affairs in the world, but have you ever seen a medal for good effort? A victory, $100 million contract for good? No, me either. Listen, ain't nobody clapping for you because you showed up and didn't screw up. You don't get points for playing or going to the practice. Hell, these days, even the losers get trophies, 11th place trophies, 10th place ribbons. You want a trophy? How about you just try winning for once? That's all you've got to do. You win once, you're addicted. Yep, it's going to suck. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to fall on your face and get punched in the dick. I don't know how many times to get there, but when you win that one time, you're never going to want to stop. That's what happens is people don't like the road to becoming a victor. So they take that gravel shit path off to the side to become a victim. Where in your life have you mistaken being good for being irreplaceable? A lot of times it's in your marriage. What would it actually look like to become exceptional? How about, listen, you guys come here for, I don't even know why you listen to this. Maybe you're like, I don't know why I listen to it either. That's fine. But I'm still giving you the answers. I show up every day. I have never missed. Why? Because I am exceptional. But cut the motivational crap for a second. Talk about the most destructive force in your life. You are the most destructive force in your entire life. You have trained yourself to take the plane to 30,000 feet and then smoke it right into the ground. Right before you were pulling up to that, just you call the ball. You're right at the runway. You have it on radar. You're ready. That's your runway of success. And you just decided to go, screw it. I'm going to nose right into the mountain. And you think it's bad timing. You think it's because of the market or the world or AI or your boss or the presidency or who won or what war or the stock market or Bitcoin or burnout, or maybe it wasn't meant to be. Wrong. It is neuroplasticity. What I said the other day, it is a pattern, and that is the only thing your brain recognizes. It is a deeply rooted belief system that says, I should never outshine my family. God, I've heard this so many times. Success will change me. Money changes people. Wrong. Success and money expose people to who they already are. So if you are an a-hole, money's just going to make you worse. But if you are exceptional inside, money's going to make you better. Your belief system says if I go all in and fail, I'll have nothing left. Risk taking is going to come at a loss. That's how you've been hypnotized. But risk taking is security making. You don't fail because life is hard. You fail because you built an identity around almost winning, almost succeeding. You learn to feel more comfortable in the chase than getting putting the ball in the net. You guys are 1 inch from the finish line. Full sprint. 40-yard dash. Full sprint for the $100 million contract. All you have to do is beat this time. You're on track to beat it. And just before you get to the end, you start jogging. Or just before you get to the end, you're on yard 35. Why? It's because winning will require a new you. and that makes you nervous. If you believe making more than your parents is going to insult them, everything in your life is going to work against you because you're going to sabotage any financial momentum that you build. If you think loving yourself and caring for yourself and making sure that you look at yourself and go, that is a man, that is a woman that I admire, before you start trying to take care of anybody else, and if you think that means you're going to be alone, every single relationship in your life is going to get burnt to the ground. If you think that being exceptional, because honestly, you guys call people that are excellent and exceptional arrogant. Wrong use of the word, first of all. Second of all, everybody, I've said this before, everybody who is definitely exceptional also has a healthy ego. Good. I know my capacity. I know my capabilities. Let me rephrase that. I have no capacity, but I damn well know what I'm capable of and how good I am at what I do. You bet your ass I have an ego. But when you actually can back it up, it's called a resume. What you guys do is you think that, like what my mom said, you have to step on people to be rich. And so she put herself in a position where she says, therefore, by not becoming rich, I'm actually a much better person because I'm unwilling to step on people. But that's not true. We are extremely wealthy. I haven't stepped on a single person. In fact, made a lot of our money from helping other people fix their own life, not mine. You can have anything in life you want, provided you help enough other people get what they want. Zig Ziglar. Burn that into your head. You think being exceptional makes you an asshole. So you guys hide behind humility like as a shield for laziness. Self-sabotage is not a mistake. It's a belief system, and you have it. It's that neuroplasticity that you have programmed in and then constantly reinforce. This is too much. I can't have this. I have to do everything I can to get rid of it. That's why you binge after eating clean, right? You start losing the weight. You start becoming more fit and you binge. That's why you ghost clients. After you start getting booked, you start seeing people show up. Your calendar gets filled out and you start ghosting. You start rescheduling. You start making up reasons why you can't take calls at a certain time. When your bank account starts to grow, that's when you start to make stupid decisions. That's why you start fights in your marriage right after you feel closest. You guys start fights after you have the best sex of your life. You do not fear failure. You fear the responsibility and standards of winning. You don't fear the discipline required. You fear having no excuses left. You're afraid of outgrowing the circle that you're in right now because the discipline and the victory will make you different. See, self-sabotage is, I honestly think almost all the time, it's this unconscious enforcement of moral allegiance to average, to mediocrity. If your internal value system, listen to me, if your internal value system believes excellence is narcissism or even worse, betrayal, your nervous system is going to punish every progress you make as if it's the worst sin ever done, ever committed. I think the solution lies in rewriting the programming, the narratives that you have going on in your head. What is good is not always weak, and what is powerful is not always corrupt. Emotionally mature men make peace with power by integrating it with meaning and service. So what are you doing? Because that voice in your head that tells you to take your foot off the gas, that's the inner bitch you haven't killed yet. That's that version of you that's comfortable with just crumbs and all the stuff that falls by the wayside, but is doing slightly better than the people you're around, but not enough to get noticed. That's the coward who wants comfort over all the victory. You better drag that motherfucker to the mirror, look him in the eyes and say, you don't run shit anymore. Not you anymore, it's me. And then you kill that weak you. It's you versus you, it's nobody else. And only one of those two survives. The inner voice, or the one that secretly wants to win all the time, just doesn't know. You're broke, poor, tired, soft, and depressed. And I'm not trying to be condescending. It's because you keep choosing to be. You want something to blame because it makes you feel safer with your own insecurities, but you are choosing that every day you wake up and go, this is who I am. This is my label. This is my condition. You think it's fate. It's not. It is neuroplasticity. It is your reflex. You're conditioned to lose, and you have been doing that nonstop since the first loss you had. You're addicted to the struggle. You worship being a victim because it excuses you from all of the accountability. You're never going to win until you stop falling in love with almost. Stop choosing to fucking lose. Listen, you ever see a man light himself on fire? How many times have you seen that? Crowd starts clapping, gas all over himself, throw the match at himself just because the crowd's clapping too loud. That's you. You get a little applause, just a little bit. Some eyes look your way, and your dumb ass hits the self-destruct button like it's a family tradition. It's in your DNA. I'm winning. Boom. Here's a thought. Maybe stop slashing your own tires and blaming the fucking road. Where have you created this glass ceiling for yourself? And what's the belief that you need to annihilate, to punch a hole in that thing and shatter it once and for all? That's a great question. Because you need to stop pretending that you're stuck. You just put the gear shift in park. Listen, you've done the work. You've gone past average. You're not poor. You're not just good. In your mind, you're excellent. The problem is you're not exceptional. And right now, 2025, excellent gets nothing, gets a pat on the back and a handshake and an average salary. Excellent is where everything flatlines in your life and you blame the system. It's the most dangerous place to live because it's comfortable, because you do more than a lot of people, but you're still living mediocre. It's the world of almost rich, almost respected, almost jacked, almost fit, almost strong, almost powerful, almost fulfilled, almost ready, almost fucking winning. You know what nobody's going to tell you? The difference between excellent and exceptional is not a massive jump. It's just a shift that says, I'm going to do more than everybody else right now, and I'm going to outlast them. It's just a little more than the person that's doing excellent beside you. You look at 50-meter run, 40-yard dash, mile. Roger Bannister, sub 4 minutes, 28 people that year, sub 4 minutes. Before him, he was the only one. Because they went, I need to beat him. He dropped back into excellent. Other people started doing it because they went, I just have to be better than that guy. That's the demon you're going to have to come to terms with, is that every time you become exceptional, somebody else sees that and goes, there's my target. And then they pull past you, and then you pull past them, and it becomes you always jockeying for that pole position in your own life. But you have to be willing to go, God, I thought this pain was over. All right, I'll hit the gas again a little harder. Why? Because I got to beat them. That's the only way you stay exceptional. Exceptional isn't, it's like having a gold medal on your shelf, hanging on your wall, whatever, from 20 years ago, and then trying to race the current champ. You're going to get obliterated because you didn't keep racing the current champ. Understand, exceptional it's not necessarily more work, it's more edge. You have to be more decisive and present. You have to own yourself more. You have to be willing to stay in the game. You have to hold your game face longer. It's not about being 100 times better. It's about having a little more grit than the person that's sitting next to you. Hold the gas just a little longer. I'll run harder for another 10 yards more than you. Because that's how you do this. I made 100 calls and I sold 50 grand. I made 101 and I sold 55. All right, I'm going to do 110. I did 10 push-ups. I only did 9 yesterday. You could do this against yourself. That's how this works. Because I told you, this is how I do it. Because stop looking at other people. The comparison needs to be with you and who you were yesterday. And you need to make yesterday, whoever that you is or was, just look like a lazy bastard. And the way you do that is by using the wins of yesterday as the standards for today. That is how you constantly evolve. And there's a big struggle with most of you guys to do that, because you say, that's not possible. Yes, you can. I've been doing it every day for 4 years and people are doing it better than I am. And I'm really fucking good at this. And I come out here every day to give you the answer. Look at what you're doing, what you did yesterday. You know, the secret, there it is. What did you do yesterday? That was your version of exceptional. Now beat it today, no matter what. I don't care if your eyeball is bleeding. Beat it today. Yeah, but now you know you can. So you don't have to worry. You survived it once. You don't have to worry about it ever. You understand that whatever you've gone through, no matter how barbaric and terrifying and horrible and uncomfortable it was, you survived, which means you can do it again, which means there's nothing to it anymore. You've done it. You guys are just afraid of the lesson and applying the lesson, going, I have to go through it again. Yeah, but you've done it. You know you survived. So you already know the outcome. You can predict your future. If that exact scenario comes into your life again, you already know you're going to win, but you never look at the lessons. You want to know how to be excellent? You want to know how to be, or rather exceptional? When everybody's doing that, shutting down, you fire on 2 more cylinders. When they're tired, you just hear Jeff Probst from Survivor. You got to dig deep. Because people, when they get to this certain point in their life, they coast because they go, I'm doing better than a lot of people. You got to accelerate. You got to look for that second pedal. You got to look for another gear, because that's the only way you're going to do this. That is how you become exceptional. It's not more effort. It's more commitment. It's more refusal. And refusal to accept anything less than being more than you were yesterday. You have to refuse to accept anything beneath the purpose you have and the vision you want and the kingdom you have at the end of the road. Refusal to be average, refusal to be mediocre, refusal to blend in, refusal to get along just in order to go along, refusal to almost live the life that you are here to own the fuck out of. Listen, if all of the drag racers, all of the NASCAR racers, they're all the best. The one person that went by 4 inches, 8 inches, a foot, that's why they have photo finishes. That tiny little margin is what differentiates the exceptional from everybody else. And that means they stood on the accelerator just a little longer. And the person that does that gets everything. Everything. The medal, the house, the car, the girls, the life, the money, the mansions, the private jets, the wife, the kids, the family, all of it, the businesses, the endorsements, the legacy, the hero. Forever they are remembered. Who invented the airplane? The Wright brothers. Who came after them? Yeah, you don't know. You don't remember. Because nobody remembers. Number 2, who beat the 4-minute mile after Roger Bannister? Who did it? Because they did it faster. Who was it? You don't remember. It doesn't mean they're not exceptional. It means the ones that go in history are the ones that shatter barriers right away. Number 2 is that brown shit that floats in your toilet. You do not want to be number 2. Second guy, the one who was almost the best, almost the richest, the fastest, the strongest, threw the most heat in the game, whatever it is. You don't even know who the fuck that was. That's the game. That's life. You can argue it, you can hate it, you can get angry at it, you can wish it were different. It doesn't change the fact that it is. It is as irrefutable as the oxygen going in and out of my lung. Exceptional is not a condition of the outside world. It is refusal to comply with internal mediocrity. That tiny little shift to stand on the accelerator just a little bit longer is the decision to reorder your hierarchy of values. You have to, it's elevating your responsibility, your discipline. It is putting your vision, your purpose, that kingdom at the end of the road that you keep staring at. It's putting that above emotion, fatigue, anger, bitterness, frustration, pain, blood, societal expectation. The margin that creates the exceptional is microscopic, but it's consistent. And it is made meaningful by the intention behind it. It's the will to serve something greater than yourself. People go, I'm giving 100%. Good. Give more. Some guy's doing push-ups, struggling to even get that last one. He's shaking, about ready to puke. His nose is bleeding. Someone throws down a briefcase in front of him, $10 million tax-free if you do one more. Bam, he does 10 more. You're at 100%. That's 100% of what your mind is believing. It's your little lizard brain going, I'm listening to the pain in my body. I have to fight for survival. But meanwhile, deep down, you can keep going forever. Your mind is quitting. Your body goes, I got more. I'm just sending signals because I have to think about how I was when whatever, some animal was chasing me. When I was circling Jericho. 100%. Good. Here's what I've learned in going through everything I've gone through. And it's intense. But there is a dark place in your soul that you haven't unlocked yet. That's the next gear. That's where you find the savage. When the weights don't move. When the bank account is at zero. And people are asking for money and the bills are due and the house is being foreclosed. When your family's on the line, your wife and your 2 kids, when they're looking at you going, are we going to be okay? You better go to that place and pull out fucking fire. Man, most people tap. I didn't have a choice. You drag yourself across the line and you finish it, and then you become the line. Everybody wants to win until it's time to do something that nobody else is going to do. And that's where people fail. Because exceptional is lonely. That's why it's powerful. You're looking for motivation. Wrong paradigm. Exceptional men they're not motivated. They're possessed. Possessed by obligation, duty, self-worth, standards, legacy. The idea that losing isn't even a fucking option. You want to win? And I want you to win. Then stop thinking like someone who might. And start living like somebody who must. Like you're sitting there with this 6-pack of good effort, praying for this damn parade. Let me help you out, bro. They don't throw confetti and awards and parades for almost legendary. This ain't Little League, kid. There's no trophy for attendance, for making it to the parking lot on time. You know who the world pays? The one who wins, not the one who tried real hard. Where are you doing enough to be good? Or even excellent, but refusing to stand on the accelerator and shift to that next gear that would make you exceptional? Because even in this podcast, you face a choice. Stay excellent in your own mind, comfortable, respected, irrelevant, invisible, or go exceptional. That next gear is not a given. The universe doesn't give it to you. It's taken. It's taken by the people that refuse to settle, and they see the wall in front of them and they know that you're both going towards it. You and whoever's next to you. And one of you has to let off the gas. The one who stands on the longest wins. It's taken by the ones who find fuel in pain and refuse mediocrity and average because they don't care what people on social media say or what their mommy says or daddy. They go, I refuse to stop because I know I have one more rep. And my brain is wired and continuously being rewired to only demand exceptional. It's taken by the ones who'd rather die than live life on the bleachers. Exceptional doesn't just win. Exceptional leads. You know what exceptional does? It defines the fucking standards. So really, how about you just stop pretending that you don't know what to do? You're whining about how it's just not my time. I missed my window. I'm too old. It's too hard. Technology's going too fast. I don't know what to do. Stop waiting for permission or applause or some guarantee. Find the next gear right now. But when you find it, you don't look back. But here's why, because from today, from right now, from this point forward, everything that is less than exceptional now becomes an insult to you, to your potential. So go take it. I got it. Never miss.